Dragons are in the gong for the first time in 2019, hoping to continue their remarkable domination of this jumper, the Manly Sea Eagles, both overall and especially at their South Coast base. Daly Cherry-Evans followed by Marty Tapau. And of course, these teams have mirrored each other through the first 5 rounds. They opened with consecutive losses. Since then, both lineups have made it 3 straight victories. They both prevailed in golden points in round 4. They've each scored 18 tries. 109 points to Manly, 108 points in George Illawarra. You get the picture. On paper, there is so little between these teams. In commentary tonight, Megan Barnard sideline, Brett Finch, Greg Alexander, Brandy. If this one follows the script, we could well be off to golden points.
Well, we could be, Matty, and it could be a real tight one here at Wollongong. They haven't had much luck, the Sea Eagles, as you said. Haven't had a win here since 2003. Jake Trbojevic on our screens there, playing his 100th. Daly Cherry-Evans in terrific form and leading the Eagles.
Matchup, if you like, against Ben Hunt. Certainly a focus of this one as we consider that Origin is rapidly approaching, but the Dragons, Finchy, on a 3-game winning streak, and last week against the Dogs, they were dynamic.
They were fantastic, Matty, and they had a couple of close golden point wins, and you see the confidence that picking up those 2 wins did in their performance last week against the Dogs. They were superb. This man was great. He's got better each week, along with Ben Hunt, who probably had his best game of the season. So the better these 2 guys in the halves, Corey Norman and Benny Hunt, go, the more chance, obviously, they have to win, and they'll need a big performance against Manly tonight.
I think the Dragons have got a battle in the middle of the field tonight, even though Fanua Blake has been terrific for them and not there. They've been very good, led by Tapau, Jake Trbojevic, and a big youngster, Sipley, in the middle. So the battle in the middle will be engaging. I might go away to deciding. Moses Surley sat 1 game out. An enormous youngster, huge. And Paul Vaughan, there he is on screen, one of the form front rowers of the competition.
Running for 150 metres in each of the last 3 games, all Dragons victories. We are set for kickoff. Saturday night, the Easter weekend, Dragons Manly. The second leg of your Super Saturday, and Manly rip into this Dragons defence. Both of these teams, good starters so far this season. Scoring freely in the opening 20 minutes. Can they keep it going tonight as Sirinen cuts back towards the ruck and into the teeth of this defence, led by Corey Norman, Blake Laurie in there as well. A good crowd in at Wynn Stadium, Wollongong, as Marty Tapau is forced onto his back, 25 metres out. Opening set, LG just drops it underneath for Joel Thompson, the former Dragon, to come forward a bit more. 15 short of halfway. And now Coruscant, head down, running in behind the ruck and crossing halfway on tackle 5. So Manly look to complete this opening set as LG is called down the short side and kicks down the short side, where it's taken safely at the back. Matt Duffy, his first possession of the night, a sound one. Limited minutes in rounds 1 and 2 for the Dragons fullback, not seen in rounds 3, but he's played every minute since. And since that injury to Gareth Widdop. Ravalawa, here's the referee's whistle as the first penalty goes to St George Illawarra. Manly called offside.
Well, the touch finder should see the Dragons, the first of the 2 teams tonight, on the attack. I would think Ben Hunt will try and touch inside Manly's half. Just on halfway it is. They'll finish in an attacking position.
Tarek Sims, of course, playing without his injured brother Corbin. The reigning Dragons medalist, Tarek Sims. And as Laurie goes down the middle, and he's flung to ground effectively by Joel Thompson. McInnes sends it back the way it came, and Vaughan tried to stay on his feet, forced to ground by Marty Tapau. And McInnes behind Graham. It's Norman on to Hunt. Here's Duffy. Tried to stutter his way through, but the defence of Brad Parker was sound. Hunt just sits it up for Tyson Frizzell. Norman takes a poor pass on the bounce and stabs the ball across field towards Jordan Pereira, who made a contest of it, and it's been called knock on Manly.
He done really well there, Corey Norman. The pass on the bounce showed great hands and a beautiful kick. Landed it on a dime for his winger to compete for the ball and force the error.
He's not a big man, Jordan Pereira, but boy, he got up in the air. Ruben Garrick stood his ground and has been ruled that he got his hands on the ball first.
And that's what you can get when you get up and compete for the ball, Brendan. I know we spoke about a lot of opposition wingers can tend to let their opposite number just catch it. But he got up and contested and gets a repeat set for the Dragons.
Dufty raced towards the short side. It goes the other way where Laurie is forced onto his back. Good tackle, taught for 4, Sipley. A big man of the NRL indeed, as James Graham is tackled 5 metres out. Great early position for St George Illawarra. McInnes to Hunt, who was under pressure and picked off one-on-one by Brad Parker. Don't know whether Laurie was expecting the ball there, but he gets it and goes back inside the 10. This goal line defence of Manly under early pressure as Vaughan winds up and takes a tackle. 3 Sea Eagles stopping him short. Final play, McInnes, his kick, a good one. Work to do here, and too much work for Kane Elgee, who's trapped in goal. Paul Vaughan, Tarek Sims.
He's claiming a try.
It's Paul Vaughan with his hand in the air.
I have no try. Here's confirmed that the ball's not lost and grounded by Dragons.
Well, I didn't even see the ball come out. I wasn't sure. Elgee did a great job. The ball ricocheted, which made it awkward.
Dragons' right side kick chase onside.
Elgee dropped back, was able to clean it up, but boy, he had some work to do, didn't he?
Ball is gathered cleanly by Brendan Elliott.
Now, Elgee is monstered by Paul Vaughan, and does he get a one-on-one strip? Oh, the ball's free.
That's held there, you think?
Yeah.
I think Elgee is still in possession of the ball when Vaughan thought it had come free and he grounded it.
I think you're right, Matty. The ball was on the ground when Vaughan had his hand on it, but I think Elgee still had his hands on the ball too, which means it won't be a try to the Dragons. He almost got that out there.
And Brendan Elliott is tackled in the in-goal. We have a decision.
Gee, he went close, Vaughan. He almost produced a spectacular one-on-one strip.
It'll be no try, but the next best outcome for the Dragons. Ball back.
We're in position. Right now, let's go.
They'll reload and go back at the Sea Eagles. There's the dropout is a good one. 55 on the fly, fielded by Dufty, and he says, jammer, go back at them. James Graham chasing NRL win 100 tonight. The Rugby League veteran from the Super League to Australia. There's Vaughan. Runs into some good defence from Sipley. Here's Frizzell. Another good collision. It was Joel Thompson putting his body on the line. Now Hunt and Laurie. Can't find any room up the middle either. 25 out, Hunt drives the ball towards the in-goal. Elgee back there again. He slaps it dead. It was the fullback in Brendan Elliott doing the job.
Yeah, great control from Benny Hunt. You've seen the space in behind the line. Beautifully placed kick for his chasers, and the pressure builds for Manly. 3rd repeat set for the Dragons coming up.
Elliott was well placed. Normally they kick midway through a set, and that was tackle 4 when they catch the fullback in the line, but Elliott was in good position to clean that one up.
Look at this dropout.
It's gone 60 on the fly, Finchy. The Dragons have had only forced 6 dropouts through the first 5 rounds. They've forced a couple early on the Sea Eagles.
Well, they'll be doing good to hold the Dragons out here after all the work they've done defensively. 30 tackles compared to the Dragons' 13.
Corey Norman called by Tarek Sims. Stopped by Jake Trebojevic. McInnes finds Paul Vaughan, who dummies but takes the run, pushes the pass and comes up with the error. Manly applaud their defence. It's ruled a lost ball now by Vaughan.
pass, passes backwards, then knocked on by Manly.
Yeah,
drag on the ground.
There was a bit of debate there. It wasn't as clean cut. I think most thought, watching, that it might have been Manly's ball, but Vaughan pushed the ball back, and what the referees are saying, it came off a Manly hand and knocked it forward.
Have another look.
He just tries to flop it back. Well, he's pushed it back. I don't know if there hasn't been a knock on yet. Well, there's the knock on.
Initially off the knee of Marty Tapau.
Abby
knocked on.
Yeah, Abby Coruscant tried to pick the ball up, and he's knocked it on.
Right, 2 hands, send square, let's go.
Wait, Brendan!
Hold there.
Hold.
Out!
So the Dragons technically perfect with ball in hand so far as Duffy goes towards the eastern sideline. Ravalawa. Now Frizzell inside the 10. And another whistle in the Dragons' favour. The second penalty to the home team.
Well, in times gone by, the Dragons would have taken a shot, but they won't here tonight. They can't.
Oh, yeah. After all that pressure.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
And look at Manly. Look at Manly there. They're high-fiving each other, patting each other on the back.
Is Wayne Bennett still sitting in the Dragons coach's box? Those
days were gone, Brandy.
I thought they were. Boy, they've just made Manly defend, and they weren't 4 complete sets, but they were 4 sets on their own line.
Well, the reaction of the Manly players, they were high-fiving, patting each other on the back. They took that as a win. They turned them away, showed great resilience early in this game. And I was with you, Brandy. I thought for all money they would have tapped and keep the pressure on the Manly line, but they've chosen to hand the ball to Tim Laffey to take the penalty goal.
Laffey kicking 4 of 6. Last weekend, he's 6 of 9 this season. And he gives the Dragons a 2-0 lead early. They get something for all their early pressure. And now it's relieved. We have a chance to say good evening, Megan Barnard. I might be biased, Megan, but what a gorgeous night in the Gong.
No, Matty, no better place to be this Easter Saturday. Perfect evening for footy here in Wollongong. Only a hint of sea breeze about and a little bit of moisture on the field, but otherwise good conditions that should make for a quality game tonight. And while Desi's men might be in red-hot form, the history books are against them in this matchup. The Dragons have won 6 straight over the Seagulls here at Wynn Stadium. In fact, the great Beaver Menzies was the skipper the last time they got the Chockies back in 03. I know you remember that game, Finchy.
Certainly was. I think it was the famous face slap on Trent Barrett.
Nathan Brown, the coach. Part of rugby league folklore now as Jordan Pereira looks to get involved. But he's forced backwards late in the tackle, and there's the injured Sea Eagle. Wouldn't they love to have Tom Trebojevic out there? His family is here as well. Tom's not sitting with them, but the whole family here in a box just in front of us. Brothers Ben and Luke, mum Melissa, and Big John, the father, hoping to watch Jake lead Manly to another win. He was fantastic against South Sydney a couple of weeks ago. Let's face it, Jake Trebojevic, fantastic all season. As there's concern here for Tyson Frizzell. 4 for 4 Sipley and Marty Tapau showing that concern straight away, not staying in the tackle, but just checking on his well-being.
I know there's the man sitting to my left showing plenty of concern as well, Brandy.
Well, he looks all right, doesn't he? And we know what sort of injury he has come back from, so it makes you wince every time he goes down. He's been down a couple of times since his return, and you can only imagine how much pain Tyson Frizzell is in.
Right to continue after a check from the trainers. Uji finds George Tafua. And now Manly get their first penalty of the game. Too long on the tackle player, says the referees.
And after all that defence, boys, Manly will get an opportunity to find touch and put their first attacking set against the Dragons. Let's see what they can come up with.
Dave Munro, the lead referee tonight. Liam Kennedy, his assistant. So Manly find themselves in rare position so far. Ball in hand, tackles up their sleeve in Dragons territory. Daly Cherry Evans finds Marty Tapau. And Tapau walks his way to the 20-metre line. Running towards the southern end of Wynn Stadium. This is Coruscant inside the 10. Elliott goes to dummy half, options both sides. He goes to the left. Jake Trebojevic will take them on straight into James Graham. Now Coruscant for tour for 4. Sipley head down, trying to drive his way over. He goes very close. Has he found the line? We'll have to check. All 135 kilograms of tour for 4. Sipley takes some stopping.
Jeds, I have no try. Can you please check if when it goes to the ground, if it first touches the line? Tough.
Well, boy, at the end there, and that back end shot, it looked really close. I don't know if we're going to get a look at the ball, and he's short there. So unless he bounces further, and you wouldn't think he has, even though he is a man mountain. That is definitely short. Yeah. We did get a look at the
On the angles available, a live decision of grounded short is supported. We have decision.
So no try. Manly with one last play close to St George Illawarra's line.
Okay, run last tackle. Last one, go.
St George Illawarra can set their line. This is Elliott, and he's wrapped up, gets the ball away. Cherry Evans on for Coruscant. Coruscant spots a gap, kicks, and they might force a goal line dropout. They do. Hunt cleans up. Cherry Evans there to make sure they're forced under their own crossbar.
Well, they got out of that with a bit of brilliance there from Appy Coruscant. They came to the right, and it was a poor play out the back to Elliott, Brendan Elliott, and then quick hands between Daly, Cherry Evans and Coruscant. Coruscant had a bit of space in front of him, took the option for the kick, and they get the ball back. Let's see what they can do this set. There's some big men in that Manly side. They'll batter the Dragons' goal line in this set. Another big dropout.
And Marty Tapau can really wind up. He's putting a little angle in his run. Heading towards Frizzell, Laurie, and ultimately James Graham. What about the size of tour for 4 Sipley at 6'2" or 190 centimetres, new scale, 135 kilograms? Do you have many players like that running at your Finch in your career?
No,
Thankfully not.
They're getting bigger, these boys.
LG for Jake Trebojevic. Jake finds his front, back to his feet quickly. And now it's with DCE stepping in front of the post. Cherry Evans away for Sirinen. He's tackled 4 metres out. Coruscant, he's wrapped up out of dummy half after losing the ball. So both teams under fire on their own line in the opening 15 minutes, and both handling the challenge.
Yeah, no surprise. The Dragons very resilient on their line. Nice work from Cherry Evans. The play before just took on Vaughan. Little warning shot to the middle forwards that if they get a bit loose around the ruck, Cherry Evans will take them on, but it's nice defence from St George. They turn them away, they force the error. And a relieving scrum now. Corey Norman will pack for his home side.
These two teams top the league when it comes to points in the opening 20 minutes of games this season, and it was on show last week when St George Illawarra led Canterbury 34-0, Manly building an 18-0 lead against Newcastle.
That's 2 pretty handy runs. Get the Dragons out of trouble.
Ewan Aitken off the back of that brandy, picked up and driven backwards.
I think he's dropped the ball, Matt.
Manly given possession, in great position here, having just applied the blowtorch to Powell. Coruscant for Cherry Evans and Sirinen, just ducking in to change the line before straightening. 10 out. Coruscant in front of Tapau. Jake Trebojevic on for LG. Daly, Cherry Evans can't twist away. That's tackle 4. Coruscant looking left, sending it that way where it's put.
Yeah, a couple of disappointing finishes. Joel Thompson with a drop ball before they can get to their kick, but I like their use of Daly Cherry Evans. With no Tom Trebojevic out there, Cherry Evans, he needs to play halfback, but he needs to play like a fullback as well. He's such a great runner of the footy, and they tried that through that set.
Cherry Evans with 135 run metres last weekend. Here's Laffey.
Daly up there. Top.
Tim Laffey finding some good form in recent weeks as Graham crosses halfway and takes tackle 5. Norman wants it and gets it and sends it high, end over end, back across the body for Brendan Elliott to put it down. It was horrible through the air for Brendan, floating left and right. He went down on his knees early and was left on an island.
Idea when you look at the fullback whether he's going to catch it or not. Brendan Elliott, to mine, never looked like he was going to get near that one. That was a tough. That was a toughie.
It was a floater, that one. Corey Norman hit it perfectly. And that's great work from the Dragons. They look comfortable defending their own line. They force the error from Manly. A great set coming out of trouble with a tremendous kick from Corey Norman. And now they find themselves with a scrum 10 metres out. That would have been so hard to take, Brent. You could see it swirling in the air. It was a terrific kick from Norman.
And as a result, they get this chance right here. Hunt dummies. There was support on the outside that would have taken some stopping. As Hunt went himself, now Laurie backing his way towards the in goal, walking into the in goal. And he'll be sent backwards now, ultimately held up.
Yeah, they had to scramble for their life then, Manly, because it did look like the Dragons were going to score in the corner there, but Brad Parker came up with another good defensive stop.
3 really good tackles already from Brad Parker. They chance their arm, quick hands now. Tariq Sims wrapped up and thrown to ground. Hurled to the deck by Moses Sully. McInnes. No way through that defensive line yet. Norman for Hunt. He catches and kicks. It's there for Ewan Aitken as the Dragons' Matt Duffy scores. There was support flashing through, and the fastest Dragon gets there first for a fantastic 4-pointer.
Well, it's been a very good 5-minute period now for the Dragons. They defended their own line, they worked their way up. Corey Norman put a good attacking kicking, the floating bomb causing the error from Elliott, and then off the back of that, on tackle 4, not for the first time tonight, Ben Hunt gets the ball through the line. This time Brendan Elliott wasn't there, but his opposing number, Matt Duffy, was, and scores the first Dragons try.
Yeah, there's great balance, Brandy, in their attack, isn't there, the Dragons? They've got better every week. Obviously, a new halves partner. Duffy's come into the fullback position in replace of skipper Gareth Widdop. But their attack just looks like it's humming. And on that occasion, Norman created the diversion with Elliott defending him on the other side of the ruck. And it was great vision from Ben Hunt, who put the ball in behind the line for the flying Duffy to score. They just look, each week, they look more settled and more comfortable playing with each other. And geez, they've been getting it right the last week and a half, and they've looked really good, the Dragons.
He might have 6 tries in 7 games at Wynn Stadium, Matt Duffy. That's his first for the season. As Laffey tries to bump them out by 8 and does. That's the sort of start Paul McGregor was after, Megan.
Well, they are notorious for being fast starters against Manly here in Wollongong, the Dragons, so no surprise to see them on the score sheet rather so early. And Paul McGregor, he'd be pleased with that start from his boys. Speaking ahead of the game, he said, the key tonight is replicating our performances from the last 3 weeks, getting our defence right, particularly our attitude. And if we can be patient with the football, we can work this team over. So far, so good for the Red V.
When you start a set inside the 10 or just outside the 10, like the Dragons just did then, the tackle before, the kick before tackle 5 is such an effective play.
The kick-off high where it's taken safely, and Paul Vaughan. For the statistically minded, it's a good sign for the Dragons, but that isn't a mistake by Paul Vaughan early in the set, and Manly can go straight back at them. But as first try scorers against Manly, the Dragons have won 15 of 16. And now Manly get the penalty.
Was that for Matt? That too much to say there? Paul Vaughan wasn't happy with it. And there might have been a Marty Tapau hand in there.
And I'm coming, mate.
Stay inside.
Can they answer immediately, the visitors? Waddell on in jumper 16 for Manly. Cherry Evans called by Tapau. Straight into Graham, and he's finished off from behind by Laurie. Cherry Evans on to LG. A long ball here for Elliott, who's picked up and slammed on his back. A fantastic stop from Aitken.
Yeah, he's a bit sick too, Brendan Elliott. He hit his head hard.
I think he got hipped on the back of another Dragons defender. I think they're a bit unlucky here, the Dragons, with this penalty.
It was a solid shot, Finchy. Oh, boy. Yeah, just as he was going down, ran into Frizzell.
There's a lot of people you probably don't want to run into. Tyson Frizzell would be up there.
Yeah, that's just a collision. He can't help that. He can't even get out of the road. It happened that quick, but it was a hit to the head. So they've blown the penalty.
Can Brendan stay on the field? Just having an assessment here. Will he be forced off?
Well, they probably want to make
HIA?
a decision because he's important to the set. They need the fullback.
Yeah, I think the doctor will have a look at that, and if he doesn't come off now, I don't think he'll stay on the field after the doctor sees the force.
Well, he's on there for the time being, for this set at least, as Tapau. He's grabbed by Vaughan and Laurie. Coruscant on for Cherry Evans. LG just holding the pass up, and the gap closes.
Yeah, he needed a straight runner. Everyone was going sideways. He wanted his runner to get back into the hole.
Coruscant gives it for Trebojevic. Held by Graham on the ground. Now released. Cherry Evans.
They don't look like breaking this Dragons line.
And they've got one more play in this set to do so, Brandy. Here they come down the short side. LG off the toe, in behind Pereira. And he takes it dead.
Goal line. Goal line.
Manly force another goal line dropout.
And that's the importance of the fifth tackle option. Not the greatest set from the Manly side, but a lovely kick from LG. On the last play, puts it in behind the Dragons line. Contest there from the two wingers. They'll get the line dropout.
The Dragons were hoping there was a bit of a reverse of the decision. Hang on.
There has been, Brandy.
No, Corey. Corey.
Well, the Dragons want
This
you
is
to
for a
be.
head knock, not to change the decision yet.
There you go. There's the explanation from
Staying in the
Dave
goal line.
Munro. Decision stands, but Brandy, you should have your medical certificate because you're spot on. Brendan Elliott forced from the field.
Well, he's asking why, but the doctor looks at that video and the fact that he was dazed after the contact, and it was pretty heavy. So he's off. We've had time off, and now we're underway again.
So Jack Gajewski goes on. We'll see how Manly's backline shuffles in the absence of Brendan Elliott. This is Waddell throwing himself at the defence. 8-0 Dragons into the back end of this first half. Now Tapau. Jake Trebojevic gives it on. And forced to ground. Waddell, ball comes free, picked up Trebojevic, and he goes again. 5 metres out, Manly. Plenty of time now in this position, but no tries to show for it yet, as Waddell almost breaks free. Cherry Evans across field. Sirenen wrapped up beautifully by Laurie. Last play. Coruscant, same way. Cherry Evans, the ball was flat and hard, brilliantly read by the Dragons, and the tackle from Tim Laffey is enough to deny Manly.
Well, the goal line defence, it's the Great Wall of China tonight. They are not breaking this. Cherry Evans with a good ball, but Laffey one-on-one stop. Terrific stuff from the Dragons centre. Moses Surley's moved to the wing, and it's Ruben Garrick who's gone back to fullback with Brendan Elliott forced off the field. Close to the line again, Finchy. I'd be getting Moses Surley infield and getting him to run over the top of someone.
I think that's why Cherry Evans come down that short side. He was looking for Surley one-on-one so close to the line. Obviously, Surley had pushed to the wing. But you're right, Brandy. In attack, I'd be switching Surley into that centre position.
Frizzell. He's the 4th run in this set. Norman kicks from well within his 40, but sends it down the middle of the ground where the temporary fullback, Ruben Garrick, has it. And he's tackled 10 shy of halfway. Megan sideline. Ruben Garrick with a point to prove tonight.
Yeah, back at his old stomping ground, Matty. It's personal for Garrick tonight. After 67 games with the Dragons lower grades, he took the gamble. He signed a 1-year deal with the Seagulls, and hasn't it paid off?
He couldn't crack the Dragons top 30 for 2019, so sought opportunity elsewhere, and Manly called his name. The Gerringong Lions junior. No Tom Trbojevic, Brendan Elliott off with the head knock. So Garrick at the back, and as his team takes tackle 5, 25 out. And there's a problem for another former Dragon, Joel Thompson.
Well, he's going to get to his feet. Last play now for Manly. Whatever possession advantage the Dragons had early in the game, that has evaporated. Manly with plenty of ball in the last 10 minutes.
LG sends it high, chases hard across there. Dufty gets it, ends up in goal. Did he leave from the field of play, or did he have a foot in goal here? Firstly, there's concern for the fullback and Joel Thompson.
Yeah, and Daly Cherry Evans. It was an awkward collision between, there's Joel Thompson.
Not much in that.
No, just watch the where Dufty actually left the...
Ooh,
great decision. He left from the field of play. That's a tremendous kick from LG. Right on the money.
We've got a HIA test.
Cherry Evans hurt his ankle in that collision with Dufty. He's just trying to work it out.
They'll do LG's confidence the world of good, Brandy. 2 good kicks now to force a repeat set from the young 5'8".
Well, he needs to shoulder more responsibility, as they all do. Without Tom Trbojevic, they need more options with the football, and LG needs to become one of those.
Come back on.
So a long delay there allows the Dragons to get some wind back in the lungs as they prepared to defend again. Good pick up, Garrick. Could have been tricky. And Manly take tackle 1. Best part of 20 metres into Dragons territory. The run by Waddell, backed up here by Tapau.
Cameron and James together. Nice and square. Stay straight. Go.
55% of the ball with Manly so far is Suley. Gives a swerve in his run, but can't get away from Tariq Sims. Coruscant for LG, and up the middle, good run. Waddell, Corey Waddell, in his first NRL season. Cherry Evans just runs it off the foot into the in goal again. Corey Norman picks it up and gets back into the field of play. What a retrieval from the Dragons 5'8".
Yeah, great escape, Corey Norman. Tim Laffey backs it up with a good run. They're out to the 20. But that was a terrific bit of evasion there by Corey Norman. There was chase down on him. It was almost the 5th repeat set of the game. 25 minutes, almost had 5 repeat sets. So there's been some quality short kicking from both teams.
Now McInnes.
Great defence from the Dragons.
Hunt drives it low and long, splitting the men at the back beautifully, but will it put up? George Tafua doesn't wait. He takes no chances, and he stops 5 metres out. Make it 4.
Yeah, that's how you get out of trouble.
What a set.
That was a terrific set by the Dragons, backed up by a great low punch from Ben Hunt. Halfway he was, he got it in goal. Pressure now on Manly to get out of their own end without making an error.
Yeah, after all that defence, they come out of trouble with plenty of energy, and on the back of a tremendous kick, they followed up with a great kick chase, and now Manly rucking it out from their own quarter.
Morgan Boyle on here in his club debut. The former Raiders lower grader, Gold Coast Titan on club debut for Manly, as Cherry Evans kicks and has the ball roll favourably towards Michaeli Ravalawa.
Release Morgan.
Now Dufty pulled middle of the ground, and it's Aitken. Tough to stop. Only try the game so far to St George Illawarra as Lattimore is part of a string of fresh players onto the fields. As you'd expect this juncture of the game, Corey Norman almost steps his way through. And here's big Luciano Leilua on for Hunt. Hunt up and going again, but he loses the ball.
Oh, he didn't. He regathered it. That was a great reflex catch by Ben Hunt, not to turn the ball over.
Is that an offload? You get an offload for that?
Last one.
Line break assist.
And then James Graham stubbornly stays on his feet. Norman towards the corner. Moses Sully up and down with it. There were a couple of Sea Eagles there, and they easily could have made a mistake. It was Waddell and Sully contesting the ball. Here's Waddell. It's Gajewski. Forced on his back by Lattimore. Sirinen. Can't quite find the 30-metre line. As Fainu goes to Garrick.
James up there. Left side.
Now Jake Trebojevic at the back. LG on for Thompson. And Thompson tackled it halfway.
Liam, you ready?
Well, completes through Daly Cherry Evans, who again kicks in behind Ravalawa. It sits up well for the right winger at the Dragons. Ravalawa almost burst through LG and Cherry Evans.
Dragons a little slow to get back on side. Good game of footy, this one, boys.
Two teams who came into the round, Finchy, in 6th and 7th. Both of them chasing 4 straight victories. And now McInnes shoots out again from dummy half. Hunt, good kick. Garrick has to motor. It goes towards the eastern sideline, but Garrick gets there first and heads back towards the middle of the ground. The chase from Hunt couldn't wrap him up. Vaughan and Leilua do the job though. Gajewski. This is a good game, Brandy, as a penalty goes to Manly. Both teams getting through their sets.
Yeah, plenty of end-to-end stuff. Both teams making good headway when they're coming out of trouble. Defence has been terrific from both sides on their goal line. Short kicking from both sets of halves. We've seen a number of repeat sets, so it's had it all this first half.
As the defence from St George Illawarra forces a mistake, but it's play on, say the referees. How did that ball not go forward out of the arms of Manly?
Cherry Evans showed good hustle to dive on the loose ball, retain possession for his side.
LG dropping Trebojevic underneath. And Jake is tackled 20 metres out, middle of the ground. Options both sides. Cherry Evans stabs at the ball. He'll find the in-goal again, and Duffy is there. So there's the 4th goal line dropout of the game, forced on St George Illawarra.
Here's the Sirinen pass. Did he get it backwards? Yeah, he might have got it back. Just having a look at that. He might have been fortunate enough, and then Cherry Evans not waiting for play 5 to kick the ball.
We spoke about the 2 halfbacks, Brandy. They've been impressive to start the game, both number 7s.
Yeah, Ben Hunt's low kicks into the... and there's a bit of dew on the ground, and that always helps those low kicks get into the position you want them, and Hunt's placing of his longer kicks has been outstanding.
Waddell. Let's tackle 1. And Morgan Boyle. Made some good footy at the Gold Coast Titans. As LG runs onto a questionable pass, the crowd didn't like it. The tackle is good to stop Thompson. Fainu, short side. Cherry Evans for Brad Parker to burst through. On the eastern side of the ground, short and simple. From Manly's DCE for Brad Parker to go in.
Well, I guess the possession down this end of the field had to take its toll at some time, even though the Dragons looked rock solid with their goal line defence. Short side play, standing open, goes down the short side, and Brad Parker hasn't seen much football. He's come up with some big defensive stops, but hasn't seen much ball. It's come to the right, but hit that space nice and hard. Very, very tough to stop a player when he hits the ball at that pace, close to the line, bounces out of the Frasell tackle, and That's a nice hit back by Manly.
Yeah, it's great play from the number 7. He doubled up on the play. They hit Thompson the play before. He got the quick play of the ball, and he started in behind the ruck, bounced to the short side, created the extra man, and put his centre, Parker, in a one-on-one position, and he did the rest. Lovely work from Cherry Evans, and like we spoke about early, Brandy, he's a right-sided player, but he got around to that left-hand side. He's playing all over the field. He doubled up on that play, played to Joel Thompson, then played again to the short side. And he's a class actor, number 7.
Yeah, we've got some players, some outstanding players, some great players that are playing at clubs where they're stuck on one side of the field, which is almost, it's a rugby league crime. Not with Cherry Evans, left and right, doesn't matter which side, but pushes the kick to the right. And Matty, you mentioned it, that was off the back of their 4th repeat set. So LG and Cherry Evans both getting the ball into the in-goal, even though that Dragons line has looked almost impossible to breach. The fact that they continue to build the pressure, they finally came up with a try. Great play from Cherry Evans.
Brad Parker, a Christian Brothers Manly junior. Megan handed his debut by Trent Barrett 4 years ago.
Yeah, and opens his try-scoring account for 2019. Also, some good news, as we can see there, Brendan Elliott, he's passed his HIA, warming up on the bike. He's ready to go shortly.
Good news for the Sea Eagles with Ruben Garrick able to return to a wing when Brendan Elliott gets back on. It's Boyle.
Hold it, hold.
So finally Manly gets something to show for all the time they've spent in the opposition 20. 23 tackles in the opposition 20 before they came up with their first 4-pointer.
Yeah, it's good hustle by Cameron McInnes. Speed off the defensive line from the hook has been terrific, and he's led it for most of the night.
Stand up there, Paul.
Boyevich playing it. And now Sirinen across halfway.
Last one, Cameron.
Well past those injury woes of the last couple of seasons. As Cherry Evans goes high back towards the middle of the ground, bringing Dufty forward under no pressure. He gathers and confidently finds Ravalawa.
Up there, Corey.
5 and a bit to go in this first half. One try each.
They've showed a lot of resolve. Both teams had long periods on their own line defensively. Now the Dragons, penalty, quick kick in the touch from Benny Hunt.
It's their first meeting since round 15 last year, also at this ground where the Dragons won convincingly, 32-8. You get the feeling it'll be a much closer margin tonight, as it is right now at 8-4. Leilua, a tip on for Paul Vaughan. McInnes through Norman, onto Hunt, who kicks again. He drives it deliberately and effectively towards the corner, where it's taken out of play by Ruben Garrick.
This will be an interesting one, Matty. Did he take the corner post or did he go into touch? Because there's a big difference.
I think he took the corner post, Finchy. That was at first look. This is the far side of the ground.
I think he took the corner post.
What the ball did? It might have gone in the field of play.
Well, I think that's what they're called, Finchy. Scrum pack on the 10-metre line. Ben Hunt again. Tackle 2. That kick. Tackle 2, but the placement of the kick was perfect. Gets them the start.
Heads in, come on, head in.
Start their set now on the 10-metre line.
Right there.
What a chance here for St George Illawarra late in the first half. Leilua on to Norman. Good tackle.
Corey, move now.
Cherry Evans it was, Finchy. McInnes called by Leilua. Changes the angle and is stopped 10 out by Jake Trebojevic. They concede the penalty.
It's inside 10.
And they elected to take the 2 earlier, and the signal from Cam McInnes is exactly the same.
Shot a goal. Shot a goal.
The confidence in Benny Hunt to kick early there, Brandy. He's seen young Garrick was defending in the line. And he still had the confidence to put a kick in on tackle 2 or 3 early in the set.
It's a great tactic, Finchy, and I think we're seeing it more often from clubs too. They're not waiting for the 5th tackle kick.
Because that fullback comes into the line to try and create the extra defender.
So much more, and that has evolved over the last few years, where the fullback, you're right, pushes himself up into the line, whether it's at A and close to the ruck or whether he fills a hole, but it's up to the halves then to identify that and be confident enough to put a kick in like Ben Hunt did. It's going to get them a result. They'll get 2 points. They didn't get 6, but it does make it a 6-point ball game if this goes through.
Oh, if this goes through, and it's a big if. As Tim Laffey hides his face. That one's embarrassing.
You'd love that one again.
Boy, that was a shocker, wasn't it?
You'd throw it over 9 times out of 10, wouldn't he? Our commentators curse.
There's been some easy kicks missed this year. I just go back to Eastham Masters, had a shocker at Penrith Stadium.
And we know what price West Tigers paid for that. Tim Laffey will be hoping that at the end of the game we're not talking about 2 points the difference. Mark that moment down late in the first half. Leilua.
If they get 6 points here, he'll look like a genius, Timmy Laffey.
Norman. Out for Dufty, who does well to take the ball. He nearly dropped that, bends away from 2. The Jack in the Box jumping around left and right. That shot shows it perfectly in position to attack here, the Dragons. Paul Vaughan winds up. Twisting his way within 2 metres of the line. Last tackle, St George Illawarra. Norman chips out looking for Ravalawa, and it's knocked on instead. The Seagulls put it down.
Touched by George.
George Tafua.
6 more. Scrum Dragons.
Well, I don't think I've seen a game where both teams have executed the short kicking game quite like this. It's absolutely superb.
Fitzy, there's been 7 repeat sets.
It's
7.
superb.
The long kicks have been good. Ben Hunt's kicking into that corner has been outstanding.
Both halves from both teams have come up with some tremendous short kicks.
And that one was on the spot and could have resulted in a Ravalawa try. And they'll get 40 seconds to try and produce something. The Dragons, 4-point lead. They love to get turn it into 6 points here.
Through the hands of Tafua and over the sideline. Leilua showing his ball skills, putting on the chest of Norman. Plenty of time to get through the majority, if not all, of this sets. Leilua. Now McInnes for Vaughan to try and thunder through. Manly waiting in numbers. McInnes sends it the same way. It's deep for Hunt. Long now. And the defence slides an offload. Quick hands back to find Ben Hunt, who's called to kick by Tariq Sims, where it's marked in goal, lost dead, but that's enough for Manly. Manly survive the late attack by St George Illawarra and go to the break trailing by 4. After the first 40, 1 try each, but St George Illawarra lead it 8 points to 4. On a beautiful autumn night for footy, we've got a full moon, we've had half-time fireworks, but fans focused back at ground level for the second half. Dragons, Sea Eagles, the home team up by 4. Matt Duffy scoring, Brad Parker scoring for Manly. The difference to Tim Laffey goals. Jake Trebojevic, the workaholic we expect him to be, but can Manly find the front in the second 40? Let's find out as we chat with Des Hasler.
Des, plenty of good signs in that first 40. What was the message to the boys?
I thought it was pretty tough early, our start. You know, we gave them some early possession really early. I think a couple of errors and a couple of penalties. So, but we dug our way back in. And I think as long as we work our possession, and it's that kind of night, it's really dewy, really slippery. So you've got to make the most of your field possession and hang on to the footy.
All the best.
Yes, Manly completing at only 65% in the first half. St George Illawarra getting through 17 of their 19 sets. That point touched on by Des Hasler. Ewan Aitken waits for the kickoff. Joel Thompson moving again. Second half underway. Manly trying to come from 4 down. And Paul Vaughan, along with his Dragons, hoping to build on this advantage as both teams chase 4 straight victories. This is Lattimore. forced onto his back.
One here, Jake. Jake.
Big running metres in the first half from Waddell into power for Manly. Vaughan leading the Dragons. All those players running for more than 100 metres in the first half. As Sims untangles. And they go down the short side through Corey Norman. He gets to halfway and beyond just. Now Frizzell. All power as usual, but accommodated by Manly. And now the Dragons complete through Ben Hunt, high above Wynn Stadium, bringing George Tafua forward. George down low, completes the catch. And Manly confront their first set of the second period. Brad Parker.
Oh, there he is again. Cameron McInnes, boy, he's done that all night. Off the line quick and makes the stop.
And you heard Cam McInnes tell Megan as he went off at half-time, we've taken those shots at goal because we rate Manly, especially the defence will take points when they're on offer. Despite the fact they built significant pressure, and we thought they were going in for the knockout punch a couple of times. Now Jake Trebojevic.
Last one, Paul. Tyson.
Final play with Fainu at dummy half for Cherry Evans. He drives his kick down towards Dufty. And it sits up nicely for the St George Illawarra fullback. The try scorer in the first half, grabbed by Waddell, who, as I mentioned, was big with ball in hand in the first 40.
Oh, I think Corey Waddell's made a terrific start to his career at Manly. He's played good minutes off the bench and been able to get through plenty of work, but he's a real handful when he's got the ball and carrying it.
Well, Brandy, he ran for 109 metres last weekend. He went past that in the first half, maybe with some more minutes, but it's some achievement for Corey Waddell in NRL game number 5 tonight.
Keep going.
McInnes pushes Morgan Boyle out of the way. Now Hunt shapes to go really long and instead holds the ball on tackle 5. So the kick option is Norman, who gets it now. And again, off that left foot, sends it really high. The grab is a good one, and grab being the operative word, AFL style. At the back, Brendan Elliott. This defence from the Dragons up quickly, applying pressure, and it's, yes, got a result. I thought so. Ruben Garrick under pressure, lost it into the bodies of St George Illawarra, knock on Manly.
Everyone's sitting back and waiting for the winger, and that tactic does work sometimes when a winger like George Tafua comes in field but then picks up one of his other outside backs. But boy, there was some pressure there on Ruben Garrick. He ran into a brick wall as soon as he got the ball. One of those was Tarek Sims, who just tossed him to ground and forced the error.
And more often than not, you want your wingers to cart the ball out of trouble. They've made the error there, and it's an early opportunity for the Dragons here in the second half.
So like the first half, an early chance for St George Illawarra in this period. The tackle from Trebojevic, a good one again. The man who leads the league in one-on-one stops. This is Lattimore.
Jake, let him up. Curtis, nice and square.
The tackle count, Trebojevic climbing again. Here's Paul Vaughan, given some room to wind up. He's held by Waddell. Fainu around his legs. McInnes goes flats, and the defence on Tarek Sims is good. Long now over the head of Norman. It's scooped up by Hunt. Dufty spots a gap. And that's a good tackle from Joel Thompson, one-on-one. Last play, Dragons from 11 metres out. McInnes on to Norman. Now Norman kicks in behind Cherry Evans under pressure. Sully on the ground, back up and back into the field of play. A penalty goes to Manly.
10 metres. Paul Vaughan.
So Paul Vaughan spotted offside.
That's the beauty of having a left and right kicker. Corey Norman under enormous pressure, but with that left foot, able to get it around the defence. Moses Sully. I can't believe the size of Moses Sully. For a young man, he is enormous, but did a great job then. Get the ball back in the field of play.
Hold it, boys. Wait for the kick.
in the mini battle, Greg Alexander, that is Ben Hunt against Daly. Cherry Evans, was there a leader after the first 40 as they went to the break?
Well, Matty, both were standout in terms of their kicking as Moses Surley batters his way to the 40-metre line. I thought they were both great in that department. 7 repeat sets, most of them off the number 7s. I think Daly looked more dangerous with the footy, as he normally does. Daly Cherry Evans is one of the best running halves in the game, and I thought that was on show in the opening 40.
Just with a little bobble as the ball arrived, he gets it safe. And Sirinen is forced to ground under 3 Dragons. Manly will complete here from Cherry Evans. He lobs the ball over the defence. It's awkward for the Dragons. Picked up well. Hunt was there down low. Jacob Host didn't want anything to do with it as he rolled around his ankles. But his halfback looks after him. And now Aitken. Stopped by LG. Middle of the ground, it's Host.
Morgan, hands away now. Come on, Morgan, go 10, mate.
McInnes out of dummy half. Running into the back of his own player.
Manassi and Corey, let's go together. Nice and square.
Vaughan angles in.
Lock in Manassi.
Good low tackle from Fainu, and he's out putting pressure on Ben Hunt. Gets the kick away, though.
Straight to Brendan Elliott, who takes it on the full. And can't get away from the quick kicker, Ben Hunt. Another penalty to Manly.
Yeah, that's ill discipline there from big Jeremy Lattimore. He didn't need to come over the top. It'd been a real arm wrestle at the start of this second half. Big Lats just come in late with the flop. Just couldn't help himself, the big fella.
Jeremy Lattimore. In his second stint at St George Illawarra, also playing at Parramatta, the Warriors, Penrith, Cronulla. Joel Thompson to halfway.
Get square, Jeremy. Hold.
Tries tough to come by in this one as Parker goes forward. He scored Manly's 4-pointer. Dufty grabbing St George Illawarras. As LG goes through Trbojevic, on through Cherry Evans, and now the offload. Another offload. Some second phase footy here from the Sea Eagles. LG elected not to use Parker.
Yeah, Tyson. Hold. Go through.
15 out. Manly through Fainu. Shows it a couple of times. Now passes. Cherry Evans. Here's Elliott wrapped up by Laffey.
Tim, let him up. Left side. Tyson, hold. Go for it.
Fainu again. Jake Trbojevic, middle of the ground, takes them on and takes a good tackle from Lattimore. Last play. Cherry Evans threads the eye of the needle, but it sits up beautifully for Laffey. On his own goal line, it bounced up into the breadbasket.
Yeah, he come up with a couple of great plays there, Laffey. First, the tackle on Elliott. He come out of the line, he made the tackle on the fullback, shut down the threat, and then there he read Cherry Evans is kicking behind and ducking behind to clean up the scraps for his team, and a couple of huge plays from the centre.
Vaughan.
Joel.
Big again tonight for St George Illawarra. Backed up by Tyson Frizzell in this set.
Morgan, nice and square.
They'll kick from their own side of halfway as it looks. Norman. Long again, high again for Elliott, who is on the deck, but with ball safely controlled. A mistake in the first half, but he got away with that one.
Yeah, made good 10 metres there after contact. Was able to bounce away from the first chase. Needed that. Another good kick from the Dragons, Corey Norman. It's a good arm wrestle, this one. Outstanding. Contact in the middle is enormous.
Good high quality game considering the number of experienced players both teams have out.
Fainu into dummy half. On for LG. Out the back, it's Cherry Evans. Thompson. And a good legs tackle from Hunt. Fells the Manly back rower. Jerry Evans sends it high out towards the corner where Ravalawa doesn't really play at the ball and knocks it on. He gets a penalty.
Take it out.
Taken out.
Jacob Host was the man taken out according to Dave Munro.
Well, it was Fainu who came through on the chase, and I don't
jump
know
early.
the fact that he touched his hands right at that critical stage, I can't argue with him. It's minimal contact, but look, just takes the hands out of play.
He wasn't playing at the ball, was he?
He wasn't.
He had no eyes for the ball.
He could have done the same job there without touching the hands, and that just might have been enough to put Ravalawa off. But the fact that he made contact, ref's got it right.
Hold it. Go.
Ewan Aitken starts the set for St George Illawarra. The Dragons beating Brisbane by 1, Newcastle by 1 and Canterbury by 36 on this streak to start their season. How important with a few goals from Corey Norman in those 2 one-point wins to ignite their year. A long ball over the top where it's put down by Pereira. There was a chance on the eastern side of Wynn Stadium, but the winger dropped the ball.
And that was great vision from the 5'8". He's getting more and more comfortable each week, Corey Norman. Put his winger away. Pereira just couldn't hold on to the ball.
Sunday, October 6th at ANZ Stadium, grand final day. A lot of rugby league to be played before we decide the final 2 of 2019. Make sure you grab your tickets, nrl.com/tickets. What a great day in Australian sport this year. Sunday, October 6th at ANZ Stadium. Manly from the back of the scrum to LG. And this is Waddell.
He's held.
Morgan Boyle just leans into the tackle. His side gets the penalty. The Dragons called offside.
Well, drop ball, now a penalty to the Seagulls. And
Daly.
they mounted plenty of sets on the Dragons line. Only one result in the first half. We're going to get a crack at this one now.
Jerry Evans on for Waddell. So involved tonight. Corey Waddell. Fainu for LG. The straight runner is Gajewski. Stopped by Lattimore. What are the Sea Eagles setting up for here? Jake Trebojevic holds the ball, goes to the line, and his tackle just short. Fainu out of dummy half for Daly Cherry Evans. LG has it. He grubbers. Brad Parker is there. It's dived on by the Dragons. And again, they're forced into a goal line dropout. It'll be their 5th of the game.
I thought the Centurion, Jakey Trebojevic, had snuck through there on the right-hand side. Geez, he's a crafty player. Look at that. For young kids at home, ball in 2 hands, through the dummy. Nelly got through. Good tackle again from the Dragons hooker. And then, surprise, surprise, a lovely kick on the end of it this time. Elliott puts the ball in behind.
Well, that's
Good
number
work
5.
from Aiken.
Yeah, no, that's dropout number 5 that the Dragons have been forced to do.
Not bad considering that coming into this game, Manly had forced 6 in the first 5 rounds. Look at that contact. Listen to that contact.
Wow. Tarek Sims, Paul Vaughan on Gajewski.
That one looked a little high and is called accordingly by the referees. Waddell, the man who copped a shot high.
Right, there's your mark. You're on the mark, Manasseh.
Here it is again.
Yeah, it's Lattimore just sneaking up around the throat. Trebojevic on his knees, quick play the ball.
Now Cherry Evans. This is Gajewski. Nothing given in defence by either team so far. The long ball ends up almost on the hill. They must think Ruben Garrick is 10 feet tall and not just bulletproof.
Yeah, well, he's played plenty of 5'8" in his junior days. Curtis Sirenen. I reckon it's been a while since he's thrown a pass like that, a 2-man cutout.
Well, he's seen Pereira come off his wing, didn't he? And just failed to execute the pass. Was the right idea.
You ready, Cameron? Pull nice and tight.
Probably the first time either team's played outside of
St. George, heads in.
the game plan and chance their arm a bit. The second row, Siren looked for the long ball and just missed the mark.
Hold, out.
From the scrum, it's put down. Pereira has dropped it. And Manly are gifted possession, big possession. 15 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, they couldn't have done any more, the Dragons, to get Manly and invite them with plenty of opportunity. A couple of drop balls from Pereira, a couple of penalties. They've just seen them camp down this end of the field, and we'll see if Manly can do much better, because they haven't really taken advantage of the possession that they've been gifted.
You'd be happy if you're a forward, you just come out of the scrum and you just got to put your head straight back in another one.
Those wingers.
Fainu down the short side, Moses Surley back at a different angle. Doesn't he look imposing? Moses Surley, Jake Trebojevic onto LG, a long ball out towards Tafua, who had to wait for the bounce, and Ravalawa gets there in time.
Hold line, Jordan. Go.
The idea was right, the ball was wrong, and Tafua couldn't get it quickly enough. Gajewski thought about the offload. Instead stands.
Yeah, LG should have been pushing up. There was a chance for a pass there.
This is Fainu for Jake Trebojevic. Now back the other way, Gajewski really winds up. But what about this goal line defence? Again, it was McInnes making first contact. Host and Lattimore joining in late. The kick, it comes off the Dragons.
Hey.
And what's the ruling going to be here?
It is an accidental offside. It's gone from you, Blake, into Jeremy, who's in front of him.
Brandy, we seen in the first half with Manly's try, they played short to their second rower, and Cherry Evans went again. You see in the last two occasions, their ball players have looked to come up with a big long pass to the wingers. And while the space may look there, they've got to look to break it down, get the quick play the ball and go again.
And I think there's enough dew on the ground to make those long balls tough, Finchy. I think there's just enough slip on the ball to make a long pass like we've just seen them try, make it more difficult than it should be. But again, they get another chance, Manly.
Can they cash in? Thompson, rocks with big contact up high by Blake Laurie. Waddell. His late dad Steve would have played a lot of footy on this ground. And now Fainu through LG on here for Elliott, who stumbles into the tackle of Ben Hunt. LG again, and Jake Trebojevic, middle of the ground.
Well, that's 3 set-up plays. They've had 1 shot, 3 set-up plays.
And release.
They need to be better than that, Manly, with the ball.
It goes to Cherry Evans, who was pointing where he wanted Waddell. Back instead for Fainu, and Manasi slammed down. Last play, picked up here by Waddell. He gets the ball away off the fingertips of Dufty, straight into the hands of Daly. Cherry Evans. It was on the fingertips. It was up for grabs, and Daly said, "Let it be mine."
Tackle 0. We have a try. Can you please confirm when Cherry Evans takes the ball, there's no knock-on from him?
Okay.
Dragons first, and he doesn't knock it back again.
It was a super fast play, the ball by Manasi Fainu, and Corey Waddell scooped the ball up, really didn't have much to do other than run into the defence. That's a miracle ball between the legs.
Ball was offloaded backwards.
That looks good for me.
Touched by Dragons and clean possession taken by Daly Cherry Evans.
Cherry Evans surges to the line and gets there.
Grounded in the in goal. We have a decision.
Corey Waddell. Desperation to keep the ball alive, just squeezed it through his legs, Finchy.
Yeah, well, don't worry about playing short than going again. Just run to the middle and do the old tunnel ball out to your captain. And the number 7 crashes over. After a ton of footy to start this second half down their end, they've finally capitalised. With 21 minutes to go, Cherry Evans will knock this over to put Manly in the lead.
He gets his 3rd try of the season. In NRL game 201. Daly Cherry Evans kicks Manly to the front. contracted at the Eagles until the end of 2023, and right now their fans are saying hallelujah.
Yeah, just watch the speed of the play the ball from Fainu. Tariq Sims fell off, it was Dufty, and then Corey Waddell scooped it up, but he was travelling that quick that he just couldn't do anything else but run into the defence. They were that close, and somehow was able to push that ball between his legs. Cherry Evans did a great job to handle it after it was already touched by Cameron McInnes. That made it very awkward for him to control, and he did.
Well, Tom likes the look of this scoreboard all of a sudden. Watching on from the sideline. His brothers Ben and Luke likewise. Mum and Dad, Melissa and John here. All of the family cheering Jake in game 100. Can he celebrate the milestone with victory? They're in front for the first time in the game. Now Joel Thompson. The big Sunday ticket coming your way tomorrow. Gold Coast against Newcastle to get us going. No Jared Wallace for the Titans, but Shannon Boyd returns. And what a beauty to follow. Canberra 4-1 hosting Brisbane. Can the Broncos crack this Canberra defence?
Oh, Gajewski on the outside of there of Trebojevic. Give a chance, but Jake, oh, that's a torpedo bomb, and it's going to be a tough one to take.
LG got it away beautifully. Ravalawa can't get there. Instead, it's Dufty doing it. He cleans up, but finds himself just a couple of metres from his own in goal.
What a superb kick from the 5'8". Now the Dragons under all sorts of pressure. They need to complete this set. The last 2 or 3 sets, they've turned it over. Really important they get to the kick here, the Dragons.
Into the final 20 we go. 2 points the difference. It was 8-4 to the Dragons at half-time. Now James Graham.
Well, they only made 2 errors in the first half. They've made 4 already in the second half, and that saw them give up that try. They just gifted the Manly Seagulls field position and plenty of possession.
And that kick is straight onto the chest of Elliott, who gets back within 16 of halfway. Good charge up the middle. And the penalty goes to Manly. All the momentum with the visitors. Ruben Garrick putting his body on the line.
Marcus. No one was there.
Well, they've had no ball. When they've had it, they've made error or given away a penalty. So the Dragons are making it difficult for themselves. They only trail by 2, but possession has gone, in the last 10 minutes, 88% of it has been to the Seagulls.
In the second half, Manly have had 16 sets, the Dragons 8. And Jake Trebojevic is using more possession, crawling his way towards the northern end of Wynn Stadium. Fainu for LG, and now Marty Tupau. LG looks back on the inside where he finds Brendan Elliott. And he's tackled by Laurie. LG holds the pass and takes the tackle. It's a good one from McInnes again. Cam McInnes, this tackling machine at St George Illawarra. Tupau heads across field, rolls it off the hand for Joel Thompson. 5 metres out. Last play Manly. The Dragons looking a little tired here. Daly Cherry Evans looking to force another goal line dropout.
Go 30,
it rolls too far, and relief from Dragons fans around the country.
That was so cool from Corey Norman. That would have been hard to resist to play at that football, but he knew the pressure that his side had been under and shadowed the ball across the dead ball line. That's a huge play. And what about the run now from
as he looks to make up for an earlier mistake on that left wing. Vaughan skips out of a tackle, enters opposition territory, and the crowd finds its voice as well.
Yeah, they're all on the feet on their heel, Matty. Another good run by Graham. It's only the second tackle after a 7 tackle set for the Dragons.
Norman on to Hunt, who drives it low and long. Tafua has to turn quickly. He slides onto the ball and stays in the field of play. What about that from George?
How strong is George? Anyone not as strong, not even remotely. Like George,
unbelievable.
He put the anchors in and just stayed in the field of play. But look at this Dragons defence up in the face. Play 3. They're 5 metres out from their own line, Manly.
The old Steelers day, they love running towards the Port Kembla end in the second half, and the Dragons trying to channel that.
Yeah, that's a great run from young Sully. Fantastic run.
There's Cherry Evans kicking under pressure, but finding open territory. And look at the distance he gains on it.
What about those last two sets? Corey Norman gets his side, pulls off a miracle and just shadows the ball across the dead ball line. Pereira makes a 40-metre run. They almost get George Tafua down in the in-goal area, and then somehow Manly, on the back of a Moses Sully run, get themselves out of trouble. Great footy both sides.
That's leadership from Cherry Evans. The kick and chase, just when your team needed a great run here.
But it sums up the game, Brandy, doesn't it, those sort of sets? We've seen it in the first half, now through the second, as Laurie picks up the loose ball. It might be low scoring, but it's Butte Rugby League this Easter Saturday. And I trust you're enjoying it on Fox League as Brazil comes forward.
And young Lomax on the bench. They need a try, St George. He can certainly deliver on. He's got plenty of talent, the young kid. When will he be injected into the game? 15 minutes left.
Hunt puts it high for Elliott to drop. It's on the ground. It went backwards, says the referee.
Look at this kicking game. It's been unbelievable all night from both teams.
Yeah, short, long, high. They've just had it all and been able to drop it exactly where they've wanted to. It has been impressive.
Good defence from the Dragons, and there it is on show. A classic tackle from Hunt under the rib cage. Parker under pressure now.
It's a tough run from Parker. Good play of the ball. Well done.
The penalty bails them out.
That's a great carry from young Parker. Under all sorts of pressure. That's a real tough run. He gritted his teeth. He got the quick play of the ball.
Just watching Brad Parker and his development over the 5 weeks since the start of the season. Really thrown in there because no Dylan Walker and started slow. But tonight, boy, both with and without the ball, has given it everything. Been impressive, and here he goes again.
One of my favourite stories, Brandy, he made his debut against Manu Vatuvei. And I asked Trent Barrett at the time, any second thoughts about sending a youngster into a debut against Manu? None whatsoever. He'll handle it.
I used to have third and fourth thoughts playing Manu, more than second.
To Powell.
James and Cameron, lock in.
8 metres into St George Illawarra territory. We saw a classic finish in Melbourne last night.
Hasn't he come alive in the second half? Moses Sully barely sighted in the first half. Just look how powerful he is.
They've brought him into the game well, Cherry Evans has.
Cherry Evans almost gaps them. Running off the ball from Coruscant. Back onto the field. Here's Elliott kicking towards the in-goal. They can't wait this time. Dufty forces it dead, and Manly, now it's back to the 20.
Again, Corey Norman, last Manly kick, was able to get it across the goal, the dead ball line without touching it. You just watch Matt Dufty here. Slides, but stays away from the footy.
Oh, I thought he touched it with his left hand, but it was a dummy.
That's what they've got to have in their arsenal these days, the fullbacks. They've got to be able to make it look like and fool the chase team.
Norman, with those bright boots, walks his way towards halfway. Brazil running off Graham. You can hear the crowd willing their team home. Brazil sent backwards.
Time's on.
Well, he got back there. He played it.
So time on. Let's go. And we are. Corey Norman. Here's Hunt long. Onto the chest of Laffey. Can't get away from Moses Sully, but back to his feet and passing for Hunt. He calls Laurie underneath. And he takes the Dragons into Manly's red zone. Hunt sends it high across the ground. George Tafua is there. He gets it safely and goes to grounds for ultimate safety.
Oh, look at them come here.
Elliott driven by James Graham from the blind side. Brendan didn't know what hit him as Graham jams in again.
This is great from both teams, Matty.
Great rugby league as this defensive intensity from the Dragons.
Well, what they don't want to do is give away a penalty like they did in the last set. Again, the speed of line. Coruscant with the dummy and just sneaks 5 metres. Cherry Evans, dummy half, can't kick. Sheridan does.
Yeah, good kick from the back rower under all sorts of pressure.
He just reefs it down the field. Dufty gets it. Ravalawa is wrapped up 10 short of halfway. So 3 fantastic, aggressive defensive sets from St George Illawarra, and they're bailed out by a Cherry Evans kick, a penalty, and then a Sheridan kick. Well done, both teams. Pereira at halfway. Here's Host.
Well, that's a long run. Manly's defensive line just on their heels there, waiting for Host.
Still a long way to go in this one. 11 minutes to play. Dufty trying to go around Sully, who collars him late, grabbing him by the shirt. Laffey offloads, and it's a slips catch by Dufty, who is back on his feet, but he's knocked it on. You don't need the third umpire for that. The videos have spotted it.
Well, he's pretty adamant that he didn't. I thought it was a great catch.
Be very careful.
Look, he's shattered about the decision.
The decision's been made now. Laffey, nice footwork. It's the offload out the back. Does he hold it? Ooh. Oh, little bobble there. It's a tough one, isn't it?
It is a tough one because he had his hands on it, but the ball was on the ground too.
He used the ground to complete the catch.
Yeah, and then he rolled over. So
Wait for the ball to go in.
not an easy one for the officials.
Out.
Right, so St George Illawarra looks to keep this defensive pressure on Manly, who've done well to answer it.
And a lot of these young blokes have stood up real well under this pressure this last 5-10 minutes from the Dragons.
Yeah, and I just looked up and realised that we're in the final 10 minutes. So honestly, so much has happened. It's been played at a cracking pace, but we are now in the final 10 minutes of this game. It's on the line.
Haven't we had some great finishes early in 2019 already? And this one shapes as another. Manly already surviving a fantastic Golden Point game against South, and the Dragons likewise. Here's Cherry Evans measuring his kick. He sends it high towards Ravalawa under pressure. He leaves it behind. And 0 called for Manly. LG points to his right and sends the ball long for Coruscant. And Tapau thinks about settling. It's off the fingers and backwards off Parker.
That's one.
Dragons fans don't like it, but it was backwards off the hand. Coruscant to Jake Trebojevic.
And stand here, Cameron. Oh! That's it.
Manly setting up for what they hope will be a killer blow. Gajewski out of one tackle. And now loses the ball. It's scooped up by Corey Norman, trying to turn defence into attack.
One thing they can't do is protect their lead here, Manly. They've got to keep playing. Bit of a stop-start run there from the young fella, forced the error.
And he just had too much time to think about what he was going to do with the ball instead of just ripping it into the line. Putting and turning over possession while in good field position. Dragons set for a big right shift.
Through Norman onto Hunt. Now Dufty trying to find some tired players, spinning away from many before being wrapped up by Coruscant. McInnes to Graham, who gives Dragons fans a scare. Gets the ball back safely and takes tackle 4. Leilua on for Norman. He finds the grass. Back there, Elliott. He lets it roll, plays at it now and goes to ground. He didn't have much real estate there. Brendan Elliott, in the end, does very well.
Just watch the Dragons fire up from here. They've got him jammed into a corner. Watch Cameron McInnes get off this line now.
Who wants this run? This is where you earn your money.
A brave play required. It's Tafua.
Nice and square, Tyson. Nice and square.
3 tackles down, 3 metres outside their in goal. Now Sully.
Good charge from the young fella.
But they're only at their own 10. Cherry Evans, on it goes.
Luciano, let him up.
And Leilua makes the tackle on Gajewski.
Oh,
Cherry Evans tried to be a little too cute. He dropped the ball when he was looking for a grubber inside his own 30.
Well, that wasn't Cherry Evans' fault. That was Appy Coruscant, who decided to run, and did he shape to kick, but then realised it wasn't on for himself and threw it to Cherry Evans, who had no other option. Defence was all over him. Ran too far, Appy. You needed to give it to him early so he could get it down the other end.
Des Hasler looks on with much disdain. He has a 6-1 winning record against Paul McGregor, and Des has taken 11 of his last 12 against the Dragons.
a great defensive set. They made 19 metres, I think, that set the Dragons. Forced the error.
Post. Listen to the crowd get involved. Leilua crashes within 10. A big crowd in Wynn Stadium, the first game in the gong for the Dragons. Can it be a winning game? The ball sits up for Tafua, who gets beyond his 10. Plenty of Dragons there, but the bounce of the ball favoured the visitors.
Well, Brandy, the kicking game's been first class all night from both teams. Do we have someone knocked out or run off the ball?
Cheds.
Hang on.
What tackle won the Manly, George Tafua? I have no try. Can you please confirm that there's no contact by Brad Parker or Ewan Aiken?
Oh, this is...
But he has no try.
Of course
he hasn't got a try.
But can you go back for this? Surely it's just a penalty in the...
Dragons' right side kick chase are onside.
So has Brad Parker tripped Ewan Aitken here?
Or is he just turning to chase?
Ooh.
Brad Parker moves to his side and impacts the run of Ewan Aitken. We have a decision.
Well, I think signalling no try.
That gives him the option. Of course, there was no try, but that's what they use. But seriously,
we have a decision.
Is anyone believing that we were looking at a try, chance of a try then?
It wasn't in the act of scoring a try, so how can we go to the video ref for that decision?
Anyway, you know what? Bottom line is he tripped him. Now, whether you think it's right to be able to go back.
Penalty to Dragons. Yeah. So Brad Parker moves across.
No, he doesn't. He does not.
Dally.
I don't believe he moves.
You can have that belief. We have ruled on it, okay? The penalty is going against Brad.
Whether they're allowed to just throw up no try, which we know there was no try.
Unless he said, no, I don't think it's going to be a penalty try. But we've had 4 penalty tries this season, and maybe that thought was in the back of the mind. I don't know.
Bring it back. Bring it back, Manly.
Gee, it was a fraction, but...
It stops the opportunity for scoring
he
a
got
try.
the foot out. He stuck his foot out.
Yeah, it's a penalty.
So we will kick here to level it up at 10-all. Tim Laffey. Pressure on his shoulders. As he confronts this penalty attempt. He's 2 from 3 tonight, but there was a bad miss in the first half. A gimme.
Yeah, there was a bad miss. You're right, one he could have thrown over. So they're redundant about talking really about George Tafua and the work he's done, really rescuing Manly on his own line a number of times.
And another result off a short kick.
Yeah, it's been stunning, the short kicking game from both sides.
Tim Laffey, 8 from 12 so far this season. He can't knock this one over, pulling it to the right of the posts.
Okay, shot clock's on. Let me know.
A couple of big misses from Tim Laffey. And Dragons fans wonder, what price will we pay? 4 and a bit left.
Well, we did say when he missed the one in the first half that he could have thrown over, how costly will it be? And at the moment, it's looking quite costly, isn't it? The goal kicking or lack of it from Tim Laffey.
That was certainly a lot tougher than his first attempt earlier.
Yeah.
Now McInnes. And Tarek Sims take the Dragons 15 metres into Manly territory. Time ticking away on the home team as Luciano Leilua is stopped 25 metres out. Graham. Now Norman, long under pressure, and the ball is knocked down by Manly. So St George Illawarra will get the ball back.
The knock on Dragons.
The first knock on against the Sea Eagles.
Yeah, Reuben Garrick up in the face there. As they had them for numbers, just couldn't get the ball out. Tim Laffey, the man, just throwing the ball into the hands of Reuben Garrick.
Watch Dragons. Watch Dragons for us.
We're down to 3 minutes.
You've done well. If you come in off your wing, you've got to stop the footy.
Shot clock off. Game clock on.
Manly trying to close out their lowest scoring win since they beat the Roosters 8-0 in 2014. 10-8 leaders. 3 minutes left to play. Host inside the 10.
Jake and Joel go together. Hold the line.
Can the Dragons steal it late? McInnes sends it for Hunt. Hunt for Leilua, who twists out of one tackle. Across the ground, finds his hooker, and McInnes goes on to Hunt. Sims makes sure of the catch, and he's stopped 10 out. Third play. Graham call as they charge up the middle and go very close. Great tackle on the goal line to stop Frizzell. It was Joel Thompson. Now Dufty. And he's held by Sully. What a try saver, Joel Thompson on a runaway Tyson Frizzell. Picked up by McInnes. Hunt has it. They're charging on the outside. Aitken down low. Leaves it for Ravalawa, who slams the ball down and ignites all sorts of celebrations. But has he grounded the ball?
Well, I don't know. His reaction would say yes. He looks very confident.
Tackle 6. Over try. I need 2 elements check, please. I need to make sure there's no touch by you and Aitken here. And then can you please confirm grounding?
Brendan Elliott in the in-goal area. Ravalawa picks the ball up after the Manly players come through. Brad Parker and George Tafua. Just have a look, Ewan Aitken on the outside of Parker. I don't think he touches that. I think he misses it, Ewan Aitken.
No touch from Ewan Aitken at this point. We are playing on.
So it's all about the
ball
put down all of a sudden.
Cleanly by
he needs to get the ground quickly. He doesn't get the ground quick enough unless he scored the try.
Has he scored in 4 consecutive games? Michaeli Ravalawa has slammed it down and they're celebrating.
And the ball's grounded in the
Southern
in-goal.
Grandstand on the Eastern Hill and all around Wynn Stadium.
Well, they left it to late, the Dragons. 2 minutes left on the clock. I was just about to give the Seagulls a rap for their goal line defence. It's something we spoke about in the first half. The Dragons presenting that brick wall. Manly doing the same under pressure. And the try comes off another short kick. Ben Hunt, the halfbacks. What a game both of them have had. He did a great job, McInnes. He juggled that footy and then Ben Hunt just jabs it through the defensive line. They all come screaming in for the ball. It sneaks on the outside.
He has to land this on a dime, Brandy. If that's a metre too long, that's straight to George Tafua. He didn't want to go high. He has to land and place that kick perfectly for his chasers to time that and pick up the loose ball and put his team in front. He's been superb, the Dragons halfback. We've mentioned the kicking game from both teams all night has been sensational, but when all the chips are on the table, the Dragons number 7 come up with the right play to get his side in front.
Well, they're running out of tackles too, Finchy, and with 2 minutes on the clock, I don't know how many more chances they were going to get at the Manly line. Laffey hooks this one again. He'll be doing plenty of practice through the week, Tim Laffey. But it's not going to cost them.
What a story, this man, the Fijian Rugby 7-star who went to the Canberra Raiders, landing with only a backpack full of dreams. He scored for their under-20s and their Mounties reserve grade team. He finds his way to St George Illawarra, and as a 21-year-old NRL rookie, has now scored in 4 consecutive games, maybe the match winner in round 6 for the Red V.
Well, there's 56 seconds left. Manly have been resilient all night. They won't go down without a fight, that's for sure.
The short kick-off from Daly Cherry Evans, contested by Parker.
There we go.
Knocked on by post. Game still on very much as Jake Trebojevic skillfully flicks it out of the hand backwards. takes tackles.
His way a little bit more forward into the 30 metres.
The Dragons have to defend and be on their best behaviour. No penalties. As they come forward through Sirinen. 18 outs. Seconds ticking down. 15 of them left now. Here's LG. LG on for Thompson. Can he land a blow against his former club? Coruscant has his team. Fan out to the right through LG. And now the kick from Daly Cherry Evans. Pereira up and down safely to close it out for St George Illawarra. In front of a taking him out. Eastern Hill.
Happy with Tim Laffey?
The Dragons say we're done.
Hang on, we're not done.
They signal full time now. They say that is that. You can continue your celebrations. Keep waving your flag. St George Illawarra has done the job.
Game over. Full time.
He's ready to go off.
He thought, James Graham, you have your 100th NRL victory.
Thank you.
Sir, I'm just giving you a second to calm.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I need to ask the question because that black and white, that is an escort, a player taken off the ball.
We've ruled on it, and we ruled it was not.
We're willing to make the hard call when the game wasn't on the line, and unfortunately then, that call needed to be made, I feel.
Daly, in our opinion, he's taken position early. He's allowed to be there. He doesn't get there at the same time and takes position early.
Chalk and cheese, mate.
We've ruled on it. We just ruled on it.
Well, Daly Cherry Evans ruling that, or thinking the penalty should have gone their way. Brandy, have a look at it.
Yeah, let's have a look. And plenty of confusion before, because the Manly players thought that there was a penalty being blown.
Of course it's an escort.
Ruben Garrick denied a jump at the ball because
he's not looking
of that effort. Tim Laffey not looking at the football, just running in front of the advancing Manly player. Does Daly Cherry Evans have a point?
Of course he does. That could have easily been a penalty. Easily. But they've decided not well. Yeah, it should have been.
With Manly kicking from
Daly's
the
point
sideline.
Right. The play was stopped to go to the video ref down there where
they had
a try-scoring match-winning play themselves. So.
And the Manly players, Daly Cherry Evans, had every right to go to the referees and say, what the hell was going on?
Laffey had no eyes for the footy there. He ran to get in the way of the chaser.
Because if they check that and have another look at it, they say penalty Manly, have a kick from the sideline to send us to golden points.
Well, that's what I thought they were doing. I thought the ref...
James Graham, I think, as well.
He did.
It was a tremendous game. It was a tremendous game of footy. Both teams were superb out there. Showed great resilience and toughness.